Hello and welcome into the SorareData NBA auction watch for the Victor Wembanyama draft edition card. Joining me today, I'm Andrew Laird. Joining me today, Maxime Hagen-Berger, Alex Hooper. Guys, I was going to jump into the whole Wemby thing, but we've got the, as I scroll around here because I've lost it, Brandon Miller one right now. And it's getting hot. YNWA coming in with about $1,160 for the Brandon Miller 1 of 100. The Thompson twins have already gone for the exact same price, but to different people. But the fact that they went for the same price and they're twins just makes it feel appropriate. For those of you who are looking for Mike Zakarian, he bailed on us. To be honest, he'll never be back again. I'm just kidding about never coming back, but he isn't going to be here today. But we're here to watch Wemby. Oh, looks like Brandon Miller just went to YNWA, who I believe is in Seattle right now for the All-Star game, according to social media. So a little bit of an early wake up for a Brandon Miller draft card. Maxime, you and I talked about the Wemby card, this one, a little bit last week. And I think we got a little excited about how much this card could go for. Do you feel any differently today than?
No, I mean, I think I will look like a fool, but it's like you never know. You never know. I mean, I think people are focused on the fact that it's a rare card and not on the fact that it's a one out of one. They don't really care about the fact that it's a 1 out of 1 because it's written 1 out of 1,000. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's one of the greatest cards Sorare has printed so far, at least on Sorare NBA, and pretty much on the whole platform. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see people thinking it won't go that high, but we'll see.
Do you think it was? Do you think it makes a difference if it was the unique?
Yes. So I think that's a sign of how people don't give too much value to collectibility right now, because I think that based on the gaming utility of a unique card, that would be I guess people would pay way more for a unique card because of the utility, the gaming utility. But since it's a rare card that doesn't have a 10% bonus, they remove that. I mean, people are mainly focused on the I would say gaming aspect, which is I don't get it, to be honest.
Alex, what did you think about the 10% bonus for these 5 draft cards?
It was weird. I heard it for the first time, and someone told me about it, and I was like, why? What's the point? And so at that same time, too, I thought there were going to be more than one of the 5. I thought there were going to be 5 Wembanyamas like this. I thought that, 5 Millers, something like that. And I was like, all right, I guess I can kind of see it if there's going to be multiples. But to have one that just had basically level 20 out of the gate, especially on a 0 L10 to start, seemed almost like you buy this card, you win week 1. Have fun.
I feel like there were 2 opposite reactions that ended up in the same place for the 10%, because I kind of sided on it's dumb.
Yeah.
Not dumb because it's not fair to have. So the other side was it's not fair to have 5 cards that theoretically you could play them together if you wanted to for week 1, because it'd be a combined L10 of 0. But that it just wasn't fair that these 5 cards would be so much more powerful than the others. And then the other side was well, there are 5 of them in the entire ecosystem. And 10% bonus on a rare card doesn't move the needle at all. Like it doesn't make me be like, oh, now I'll buy it because it gets me gaming utility. Whereas I feel like we know that they haven't really tried to make the NBA and the MLB product like a collectible product. Like they're kind of forcing it with the collection game with football. But like this was the chance to like be like, these are collectible. This is the only Wemby card that's ever going to look like this. And it just feels like they'll get there at some point, but then somebody already owns it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what about like a card you could play anywhere? I mean, it's just like, I feel like, so the argument for saying like basically the bonus should like, so Fields say, you had a conversation with Fields on Twitter, which was like hilarious to me because like Fields was like, oh, it's not fair to the rest of the players, and it's like bad practices and whatever. And I was like, how can you say that and defend the collection game on Sorare football? I mean, to me, like it's basically the same thing. It's like if you're not willing to get to like be okay with like a 10% bonus on a Wemby draft card that is the only one on the platform, but you would be okay with someone getting 5% because they own a full collection of Bayern card. I mean, I'm like, I'm baffled. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. And to me, the fact that there were only 5 cards in the entire ecosystem that would give you the 10% bonus was like, I didn't care. But the fact is, that was a dumb move anyway, because you don't need that 10% because like it doesn't matter. You're buying this card because it is a collectible. So that was kind of mixed signals sense. That was a bit weird. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a bit sad that it's a rare card because I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's a collectible since it's a rare card. It's like probably a super rare would have made more sense. I don't know what the thinking behind the fact behind the choice of a rare card was, but I'd be pretty interested to know what they had in mind.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in our friend Sean Newsham here, who is also very much against this being a rare card. Sean immediately, when we started talking about how much we thought this card would go for, Sean immediately went to the utility part of it, that like a rare card in NBA should never cost as much as we thought this should go for. And I felt like we were going completely on the collectible side, which I'm not sure one is right and one is wrong, but it was kind of funny that we like both looked at it from different points, but we all agreed that the 10% was completely unnecessary.
Oh yeah, the 10% was completely unnecessary. For what it's worth, like I also agreed with everything that you guys said in terms of it, the collectible side of things, right? Like I just thought that the numbers that were given via Maxime may or may not be very high. So we'll see. I'm interested to see how it goes, because here's the thing, right? We've had these watch parties before, obviously more so for football cards, and the range that we all usually would have was pretty close, right? Like we all would generally say, like, I remember we had a card and it was like, oh, is it going to go for like 100 or 110 ETH? And it was pretty close. Like if I was setting the over under on this, I probably would have set it around like $10,000, so like 5 ETH or so. And so the range here in terms of what we expect the card to go for is so wide that I'm interested to see how it plays out.
We might have gotten a little excited.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew, can I say something about like it feels like it's the first day of school for Sean, so I'm glad you you bought your A game today for a special occasion, like shave your beard, like cut your hair. I'm honored to be like in your company right now.
You get blessed with the fresh shaven, clean young person look that I go with, and then I'll slowly. Wow. I had to look good for next week when I'm hanging out with Laird in on our trip, so I have to make sure I'm presentable. And currently, he has more facial hair than me for maybe the next like 12 hours.
Yeah. So it doesn't seem like the ones that have gone previously like there was no expectation that these cards would be as popular as the Wembanyama. So I don't like comparing them together. It's nice that they did it. I don't know why they stopped at 5, to be honest. I feel like they could have done the entire first round and they would have just gotten enough interest. Like Cam Whitmore, I would have bid on the Cam Whitmore one, but they're only 5, and I don't care about who these 5. I don't care about 4 of the 5, and I think that's probably a pretty standard opinion, other than the fact that Wembamania is currently winning the Scoot Henderson, although nobody's bid in the last 3 hours and there are 3 minutes left, so maybe this is where it goes. But let's see, what's Wemby up to? Yeah, Wemby's still at 3 ETH. $5,681 with 17 minutes to go. And the others, I think, are just what, in fact, I don't even want to look at them anymore. So, Sean, do you think it would have been better off as a unique or a super rare?
So I think it would have been better off as a unique. However, the caveat being, if Maxime was actually correct and this goes for $100,000, this was definitely the way to do it, because the unique's going to go for more, obviously, but like the unique's going to go, let's say the unique goes for like $250,000. If they don't do this in terms of the rare, this rare would have been like 3 to 5 ETH probably. Like they didn't do this sort of special edition card. So this way could be the best way to maximize it. But if this doesn't go for, let's say, $100,000, then this would have been much better as the unique, because I think the unique would have been more interesting for some collectors in that situation than this card will be.
Yeah, there's just like an inherent value in a unique that the rare doesn't provide, I guess, even though there will literally be no other cards like it. This Scoot Henderson, actually, I have no idea if they'll use this action pose. I assume not anywhere else. But I don't know. I keep going back to the fact that I think this could be the most collectible card on the platform. Like, I think whoever buys it will at some point sell it for so much more than they bought it for, and it's just a matter of what they want to spend on it now.
And so here's the question now, and that's I'd like you guys input on that. That's what we were discussing with Andrew the last time, is if it goes for like, I don't know, 10 ETH or something like that, would you, like, I think it's kind of a mistake to actually print only one card, because you would get way more money out of 10 cards of Wemby, like draft class cards, than just one. So I mean, and same thing for like the other draft picks. I mean, if you print like 10 of these, that makes way more sense in terms of like just getting more money.
Does the 1 of become less valuable because there's a 2 of and a 3 of?
Well, I guess it's still the same because it's the first one. I guess you kind of lose some of the attraction because there's like 9 other cards, but in terms of like, I guess in terms of like the money you make out of the 10 cards, it's still way more than just one.
Yeah. So Scoot, did that actually end? Let's see. Yes. So Scoot ended at about just under $2,600, and nobody came in the last 3 hours to bid.
So have your guys' opinions changed on what you're expecting this to go for now? Like, if you were setting the over under now, what would you guys set it at?
I think I'd be disappointed if it doesn't go above 50K. And I guess like it wouldn't make sense to me, I would say, because my thinking is you should not consider it as a rare card. You should consider it as a card that is 1 out of 1, and the only card of Wembanyama in his draft class, in his draft night suit, and that's the first card ever of Wembanyama. So maybe people don't don't believe Wembanyama will be like such a big star in like 5 or 10 years and he will be a bust. That's also something else. But I mean, I wouldn't even like consider the fact that it's a rare card.
That's kind of interesting to me, just thinking about like, do the people who would pay that for a collectible, like, will they just completely not consider that it is a rare card? Because I couldn't separate the two. If I had, that kind of cash flow, like, it's obviously, it could be, like you said, that one of the most, if not the most collectible card on the platform, but I just couldn't separate it from the utility if I were able to spend that much, because like, I'd never gain it back in the game, and I can't mentally separate myself from that. So like,
Yeah,
when I'm looking at it now, I'm like,
I agree.
yeah, I have a hard time
Yeah.
thinking anything, like Sean said, 10K. That feels kind of like it right now, but I'm sure I could be surprised.
I think because like there are people who buy uniques in every sport that are buying them because they will have utility at some point. Like particularly with NBA, there are unique galleries where there are just not enough places to play them. So like every week they have a ton of uniques that they don't use. And so I feel like if you use, like they could use them at some point in a contest that could help them try to make that money back, meaning in a unique contest where if you win a prize, like that is able to recoup a lot of your money. But like, you're not going to be able to get there with this rare. Like you have to just convince someone else that it's just really cool to have and own. And like, that's how you get your money, which like, I don't think is an absurdly hard thing to do, but that's where the value comes in this card, is like somebody wants to own it, not I can win it. And that's completely different than almost every card we have on the platform. Like I think when we did the Erling Haaland unique watch, like that, the price of that card went well beyond like utility and being able to win it back. And it's like somebody may want this card one day. And I feel like, well, that didn't quite work out for that buyer. But there are cards that do that. But like this one, I think is like the clearest example of one that you will probably never make it back in the game. But it's also like potentially like the card that some people want. Like, I can't believe I am saying this, but like, doesn't this seem like a card Gary V would own?
Yeah,
you need to find one
it is.
Gary V to like want it, and now you have value out of it.
Yeah, and I think that some of the comments in the chat I do agree with are like the fact that they put 1 out of 1,000 on the card, which makes it like completely different in terms of perspective, because you would have said like basically a rare draft edition or something like that. That changes the card, in my opinion, because like seeing that it's 1 out of 1,000 makes it like so much less valuable to me.
Right. If they had just written serial number 1.
Yeah. And or like it's draft edition 1 out of 1, because there is going to be only one draft edition, right? Yeah, I think that would make way more sense.
Yeah. Jakun pointed out that Basilbot, who is currently leading the Wembanyama, just got the Otani number 1 from last year, rare, at floor price, basically. I don't know if that's, well, that's a whole different thing, but the collectability there is not happening anymore. Jerem said, is the 1 of 1,000 more valuable than the 1 of 1,001? I'm not sure I understand that question, though.
I think he's asking if they offered and gave like one card that was a rare, but it wasn't part of this season's collection. I don't think they wanted to do that, though. They made it pretty clear that they weren't willing to do something like that to screw up the scarcity numbers they have.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Just checking.
I think the idea of offering it as a rare is kind of like a a no lose situation for Sorare too, because obviously it's going to go for a lot anyway. In that it is kind of a one of one, but if they made it the unique and the collectability didn't get factored in, then they've used the unique on Wemby, his rookie unique. It's already gone. Whereas if you issue it as a rare, and someone is like, this is a one of one, I'm going to treat it like a unique, and then it goes way above what a normal rare one of would have went for, then they don't lose. And if it just goes for a normal price, like you would expect any other top rookie, or even like LeBron coming out as a 1 of 1,000 in 2003, then they don't lose anything at all. So
yeah,
I guess they're just kind of hoping for it and banking on it. And
I just don't know. I mean, obviously there's going to be no way for us to know for sure, but just like what the premium is that it's a draft edition card. Like if they just did the regular rare in 3 months, 2 months, whenever we get the new cards, like what does the 1 of 1,000 Wembanyama go for? Like it's going to go for more than anything else, but I'm just not sure. And like, this sounds very stupid. Like I'm not sure people appreciate that this is going to be different than every other card. Like there are no other cards that look like this.
Maybe, but that would tell a lot about the trust of people, like regarding collectibility on Sorare right now. That to me, that's I like also those auctions because it tells a lot about like where we are in terms of like the collectibility aspect, and it tells a lot about how we are doing as an ecosystem. So maybe I'm too bullish on this auction, and I'd be fine with that. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and it's not something that people should like underlook or say, oh, it's just one auction and that's just a draft edition card or whatever. I think it's a very important auction because it gives also, like, if it goes for a lot, it's just more publicity for Sorare NBA, etc. And I mean, it's if it goes well, it's very positive for the platform.
Yeah, I think as somebody pointed out in chat, the Zidane unique just came out, which is kind of a funny time to do that, I guess, after their video. But so if I feel very bullish on this card, but I feel bearish on this auction. That I think that whoever wins this auction, when the regular cards come out, they will be getting offers for more than they paid for this auction, because people will be like we all know it's different because like they told us it was different, but I don't think everyone knows it's different, as we now get Bellama in at $8,067, and Basil has a max bid over that, so Basil's still winning this one. But like I don't know, I just think that this card's value isn't being appreciated yet, meaning understood yet. That's how I'll put it.
Well, what's your thoughts on
Yeah,
Andy
but
Black's
remember,
comment? He said, what about making this card just a collectible, a pure like one of one collectible on the platform? Is it like you can't use it, and it was a like cards from the World Cup? What, a custom series card would that, because the actual like utility value on this is very, very low. Like there's going to be so many cards you're playing at a very you're playing 1 of 1,000, so there's going to be, in theory, like if he ends up being one of the best ever, there's going to be like 15,000 rare Wembanyamas. What about making this a 1 of 1 custom series that had no utility whatsoever, but it's a 1 of 1 guaranteed, nothing will be like it?
No, you know what they should have done. I think a custom series of like a special edition, like I don't think it would make sense, because like people are giving too much like credit to like utility right now and giving too much importance to that. And I think they should have done this Wembanyama card a unique for the 2022 season, because you probably can say draft class happens during the 2022 season or at the end of the 2022 season. So it's just a 2022 unique, and we're now going to be able to like print uniques for like people that go into the draft class that season. And then you can you can print another in 2023, and I think that makes way more sense to have like a unique that is like for the draft class.
I like this idea that you came up with and Shaforkel's bringing it here. They make it a rare card, but make it usable in any competition. Like that's extra utility that people would be like, oh, if I can buy this rare card and I can play in the unique division. Of course, then whoever buys it is like, oh wait, now I need 4 more uniques or however many you need for the unique division.
Yeah.
But that's if you wanted to make utility a bigger part of it, like there was an easier way to do it than this 10% thing that they eventually just pulled out anyway. We're at 9,961 for the high bid now. Basilbot's still outbidding Bellama on his max bid, so we'll see if Bellama keeps going.
And just remember, like, for an auction to go crazy, you only need 2 people, and it could be. So we've seen like Spicer selling his whole football gallery to go to double down on NBA. I can see him as a clear competitor in that auction. I think that Bellama also is going to be there. So it just depends on what the valuation these guys have in mind. And I think that we talked about it with Sean earlier today. Sean, you said that the 10K over under was pretty much reasonable to you. I think we're going to be way above 10K.
I think I think that we see this card go in the 10 to 20 range right now, if I had to guess. Obviously, it's at 10 already, so that's kind of cheating. But my guess is it goes in the 10 to 20 range. I don't think, unless 2 new people come in that are not here yet, I don't think we go much above this.
I mean, if YNWA believed in the Brandon Miller, I imagine he believes in this card.
But so YNWA hasn't really put a lot of money on a lot of big cards in a long time.
He was waiting for Wemby, obviously.
Maybe. But you need 2. You need 2, and I don't think either of the 2 that are in this bidding process are willing to go that high.
Somebody pointed out, it was Germ here, but
above 10K.
There we go. You also have to remember that all of the one-ofs are also jersey mints for Wembanyama.
Yes.
So like this is a jersey mint. The super rare will be a jersey mint. The unique, they don't do them anyway. But yeah, we're now at 10,416. Basilbot 5.5002 ETH still there. This is a new. That was up because of MRU 069, who I believe bought one of the other ones, one of the Thompson twins, bid 5.5 ETH. So we're over 10,000 for now with 45 seconds to go. I'm like convinced that Basil will get an offer like tomorrow or later today if this closes at 10 grand, basically.
Imagine if it stayed there. I mean, I would be shocked. But it's going like close to the end now. No, so MRU still in.
All right, MRU is in 10,832, and that's now over Basil's max bid.
Yeah.
There's YNWA.
See?
Okay.
Right.
I mean, people are interested.
I mean, I'm not going to keep harping on like. I think this, and obviously depends. It fully depends on whether he actually turns out to be good, and we're so far away from knowing if that's the case. But we haven't had like a draft prospect like this since LeBron, and this is basically his only special edition card right now. Like it's his literally first one.
I wonder if his summer league performance scared anyone off.
Second game.
I mean, his second game, was better.
Yeah. Oh, Bellama's back.
Okay, so it's getting a bit.
All right, 13,000 now. Bellama, MRU 069 still on. I don't know if they have MRU 069. I'm not gonna.
So probably Bellama is in auto bid right now, and so has like an auto bid already. I don't think You Never Walk Alone is actually doing auto bids.
Usually not. Yeah, MRU 069 has a 46 ETH NBA gallery with 0 uniques. A whole lot of super rares though. But yeah, Bellama is on a max bid right there.
Is it over? No way.
10 seconds.
I think it's reasonable that it's over here.
Bellamont
Wow.
gets so many
Oh,
steals. There we
Thank
go.
you, Bellamont. Oh, so,
Here's
So
the
why-
thing, though. If it
Oh,
got
so
that
scared.
low, it is not going much higher, is my thoughts.
Well, Mark's always a late bidder anyway, but
Yeah.
He is, but I just I can't imagine this gets late bid up to like $50,000, right? Like I could see this get late bid up to like 10 ETH, but not that much higher.
yeah. Well, I
why
mean,
not?
if it's just the two of them, there's really no reason to like throw in a huge bid. Like, there's no reason to go to 20 right now.
Well, no, there's always a reason to have a better auto bid in, because if you set a
Yeah,
a
the auto
higher
bid, yeah, but not. I'm just saying you shouldn't just raise it right now
Yeah.
or whatever.
Slowly
He needs
getting to 15K.
Just
He's
under
inching
15,
up
yeah.
too. It's not like he's throwing in haymakers.
Right. Bouncy said, did you just get outbid by $2? So the max bid basically allows you to do that, which I still feel like is not the right way that it was supposed to work, but that's how it's working. So what is that, 2 1,000ths of an ETH?
So, will you never walk on do 8.888?
It needs one more bid to be the highest rare ever, because the LeBron, I think, was the highest rare. So now it's over. 8.1 is above what LeBron, one of 100, going for.
Okay. So now we're at 15,421 for Bellamont. Basil gave it a good run. And
I thought I thought his like max bid was going to be at like 5, so it was a little over 5, but that's what I was expecting from him.
You only need to.
You do.
I mean, Mark is a. I hate bidding against Mark. I know I'm going to lose every time. So,
Bellamont doesn't make it any easier.
yeah.
I think Bellamont easily has the best NBA collection right now.
Yeah, right.
So like, oh,
See?
Oh,
So Bellamont is out.
10,000 YNWA, and Bellamont did not auto bid over him, so he must have set his max bid at around 16,000. Still no Spicer. I feel like if Spicer was going to double down on NBA, buying a rare card for this much money probably doesn't make sense. Like, he seems like a utility guy, not a collector. And from a utility standpoint, this card makes no sense at this price. Like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like we got one more swing from Bellamont coming.
Yeah, we do.
There we go.
And we got that 8.888.
Oh, yeah.
He put a new max bid on.
Yeah, so
No, that
posted it.
YNWA's max, yeah, was 8.888, and then Bellamont now at 16,739, spot 68. I hate to say it this way, but Bellamont has stolen so many uniques with nobody watching that he should have ETH left over to just go nuts on this card.
Is he the one with that Lillard?
Yes, it was like a 3 ETH Lillard or something like that. So here we go, 5 seconds left.
Can you refresh?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
Okay.
that. Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah.
We had a
That's so
slow
rare.
roll there. All right.
So we're now at
It seems
9.99
It's a bit slow.
for YNWA. Bellamont bid 9.99, or excuse me, 9.99 was his max bid, and YNWA went over that. We're now at $18,815. And so, yeah, those last second bids are always fun. We got 10 seconds left. I assume I'll have to refresh again just to see.
Yeah, I mean, when you see ended and not transfer in progress, that means that it's not done. So let's see if my theory is correct. Yeah,
Nope.
it's done.
There we go.
I didn't even see what the final was.
Yeah, 10 ETH.
Yeah, basically 10 ETH. 18,815 for a rare card.
So yeah, we got a bit too excited.
We did.
It's,
Sean had to
yeah.
rain on our parade.
Hey, I mean, as the second biggest winner on this auction, or maybe the biggest winner on this auction, we'll have to wait and see.
So far, you've made more on this card than anyone else.
I've made more on this card than anyone else. So, I mean, as the biggest winner in regards to this card in the history of the platform, I feel good right now. Feel good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it says a lot about like the collectibility aspect, and I think that they should maybe change the way they do draft edition for next year. But I mean, 10 ETH for a first edition Wembanyama, it's yeah, I'm surprised. That's I'm going to stick to that. Surprised.
What does the unique go for? Meaning, if this was a unique.
Well, I think
Phil
it's
said
Giannis
this tells us a lot about the NBA feeling right now. The difficulty is that like nobody cares about the NBA right now.
Right.
See, I don't know. I disagree. Like, to me, this was really high. So, like, to me, this is a good indication for the NBA because this is like an obscene amount for a card. So, like, that's
It's an absurd amount for a rare card.
Yeah, for a rare card. Like, we just saw the most expensive rare card in the NBA, and the most expensive football card right now is 3 ETH. So, like, to me, this is a really, really high end card. So we have a few people. Fling Flong said 100K. I honestly think it gets probably closer to 250 if it was a unique.
Right. Yeah, and I always struggle to remember that it's actually a limited football card.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I hate it that it's so different. And yeah, I guess like for a limited football card, I think that tennis is. I don't know what was like Messi first card was like 5 ETH or something like that.
It's just a completely different situation. Like Messi cards existed at the time, and like it wasn't a rookie. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you can't really compare it.
3.6 ETH, and it was 11K at that time. Well, it's not Messi doing like a celebration or whatever, but it's still one of the best football players in history. So
that's fair. Enzo said 18,000 for a 1 of 1,000 in NBA is very bullish.
Yeah,
I agree with that, though. Do you think that the unique, not that the unique is less valuable because of this card that has like a unique design, but like, would a draft edition unique actually be more valuable than the regular unique? Like the answer is probably yes, but does it even make much of a difference?
I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I think right now like people just don't really care about. Like I think like YNWA buys completely the long-term strategy and like the fact that it's going to be a collectible, and that's not new. I've been bidding on the Zidane serial number 10 against him at 5 a.m. in the morning. So I know he's buying that theory, and he's buying every collectible card that he can. So, but I think like the fact that he's still the one who gets the card means that like not a lot of other people are like buying that theory that Sorare is going to be the next big thing in terms of like collectibles.
So Laird, for your information, I just posted this elsewhere as well. When I made the bet that it would be below 50K on this, I thought it was more likely I would win this bet than when I made the Tuggy Willie Carvalho bet. Like but you guys cooled me off because everyone I talked to was so hyped about this and Maxime was so adamant. I was like, man, I must be wrong here. I was pretty sure I was like way off base, or like I was the one that was not going to be correct here after I went through it.
I mean, you thought the reasonable number was 10K.
Yes.
The reasonable over-under was 10K. And we like nearly doubled it. And so I think I think you have a really hard time valuing collectability.
But clearly, I was the most accurately one.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. But I think we just don't know we can't value the collectability of something that to date has not been collectible at all. And I think that's what we were trying to do. Like, I still believe that this card could sell for $100,000 at some point.
Sure. I don't disagree with that. I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. This to me is the most collectible card on the platform to date. Like, there isn't a card that is more collectible right now than this card.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And there's nothing, like, I can't think of anything else they could do to make another card more collectible. That's why I was like so confident in that, because there are no other players like him that are like coming up. It's his very first card. We know rookie cards are important in collecting, and this is literally his first digital collectible, officially licensed digital collectible. So, and if you're like bullish on digital collectibles, then yeah, I think $18,000 is a steal. How about that?
I would really like to have seen him play a game in the NBA first. I know he's playing in France and he's playing against men, which is different from most draft prospects, but I think the difference between, like, I don't know, I don't want to use Ja as an example, but like, you know, a young guy who's proven himself versus this, there's so much risk here. That would scare the hell out of me. Like, he is undoubtedly right now in this moment the most collectible card out there, but boy, that could change quick. And like, you don't have that risk with other folks.
Like, he is the most hyped NBA player since LeBron, right? Like, no one's been
No
as hyped
doubt.
as him. Yeah.
I've been, the people who are in it and are obviously paid to stir up the hype have said like more, like the best draft prospect ever. And I'm from Cleveland. I grew up during all of that, so like obviously it's different to me, but it seems like the hype machine, but also he's 7'2" and can shoot and handle, or 7'4", 7'5". Yeah, it's a little different, but boy, you gotta really hope that he puts on weight the way that Giannis did and shoots the way that Kevin Durant does. That's crazy. He could. Hey, I'm not saying he doesn't look good. I'm just saying. Whew.
I think so. Mark said Messi's unique from the season he won the World Cup is the most collectible card, which I think is wrong.
Yeah.
Only because if you looked at all of the Messi uniques, you wouldn't know which one. Like, you have to look for a date to like figure out which one was when he won the World Cup. Like, you don't know.
If he was in
This
an
is
Argentina jersey, I would agree.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is not.
Agree.
And so, like, this one is like, we know, like, when you go into the NBA draft, like, everyone knows you wear the suit, you look nice, you get the hat, and like the draft edition, like, people know that this picture is from the draft, which is like when he became a professional. And it's not like when he reached his highest point, which, like, I think Messi would say, like, winning the World Cup was his highest point. But like for SoRare card, like, you just have no idea. How much do you think Mark would take to sell the card now? Like, obviously nothing, right?
Yeah, I don't think
Meaning you wouldn't sell it now.
He probably would need 100K. I would guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even...
Really? Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's selling. I think you're not buying this card to sell it like
Soon, yeah. But like these Messi cards, like, which one did he win the World Cup with?
Yeah.
He didn't win it at all with PSG, I'll tell you that much. I do love that Bellama's showing up again here, by the way. I don't know. Do we have anything more to say on Wemby?
I'm like I would like to say I'm sorry. I failed you guys. I think that it's yeah, I'm sad. I'm sad. But yeah, I mean, good luck to Mark. I think it's going to be a fun ride for him, and he's got a new face to root for, so and that's pretty fun for him.
Yep. Agreed. Where were all the French bidders here looking for the?
I was expecting Maxime to have a bid on it when I came on the show.
I said that I said earlier today I would definitely buy that card for 10K. I said that, yeah.
We are missing the bids though. Just
No, but I knew it was going over 10K.
At least I can always say too, I was the first person to bid this card over 1 ETH.
Yeah, I mean that gives you like so much credit, man. I mean, like you were
you'll go down
a
in history.
fast clicker.
I was.
Wow. I
Hold on, let me
mean,
just go through the hundreds of bids that were over yours.
Yeah, but they're all the same people. They don't even care. There I am. Look at that.
wow.
You are not the first over 1 ETH, by the way.
True. First at 1 ETH. Sorry. Gotta clarify.
And only at 1 ETH. Wow.
That's all I was willing to go. I felt like if I got it at 1 ETH, I'd feel good. Above
Yeah,
that, I was less sure.
That's a good buy at 1 ETH.
Exactly. It was more than Doncic and Jokic. I was like, man, if I paid 1 ETH for this, I'm overpaying all the other players in the league at 1 ETH. So I put. You say I don't value collectability, Laird. I mean, come on.
You don't.
No, not at all. All right. Thank you to everybody for joining us. Please, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Congratulations to YNWA on his new JPEG. And then we'll see how he gets to use it in 3 months when the season starts. So thank you, everybody. Maxime, Alex, and Sean, thank you. And good luck, everyone.